Welcome back to ESBR Boxing YouTube channel. Delighted to be joined by Danny. We are reacting to what we have just witnessed there as Justice Huni moved to 11-0 in his home country of Australia. He was fighting Leandro Daniel Robutti and got rid of the Argentinian in 2 rounds. Danny, some Wednesday afternoon boxing action for us to enjoy. Quite a fun fight for as long as it lasted, all 4 minutes of it. What's your reaction of what we just witnessed and Justice Huni's performance?
Yeah, it was what it was. I think that's sort of what the plan was, obviously. Uh, Robudi, if that's pronounced right, he's clearly no great shakes. 11-6, been stopped 4 or 5 times. As I said to you before we started recording, been stopped in a round by Bracamonte, who British fans will remember fighting Dave Allen and Fraser Clark. So I think that gives an idea to the level he was. So if Justice Huni was doing anything other than stopping him emphatically and early, you'd be pretty concerned. And yeah, that's what happened. I mean, no surprises there. He was, I don't know what weight Ribery was. He didn't look in particularly good shape. But Hune, as the old saying goes, can only beat what's in front of you and did it in good enough fashion. To be fair, I think he could have done it whenever he wanted. I think as soon as he put the foot down, that's what was always going to happen. But decided to box a bit more early. But when he did, it was only going to go one way.
Yeah, for sure, mate. I think I don't know what you said there. I believe the commentary team said Rabudi weighed in at 140 kilos. So yeah.
30
So
odd
yeah, make
stone
of that
that.
what you will. But as you said, yeah, Justice Huni, he can only beat what's in front of him. He's 11-0 now. I think that was his sixth stoppage. Um, yeah, it was always gonna be an early finish. It did, as you mentioned. I think Jai Opetaia was on commentary as well. It looked like he was kind of coming out, moving, plenty of movement in the first round, jumping up and down on his feet, throwing the odd jab. Didn't really throw too many power shots in the first round, but he must have gone back to the corner in between rounds, and his corner was like, right, go on, just get him out of there, would you? Um, and he, yeah, obviously started the second round. Barrage of shots landed, a few of them rocking the head back at Rabuti. And yeah, I think it was a body shot that actually sent him to the canvas, and then an uppercut that kind of busted the nose, and then yeah, um, the referee waved it off in the corner. Rabuti, no complaints from him. Didn't look like he wanted to continue anyway. So yeah, nothing really more we can say, mate. But I do want to touch on, he's 11 or no now. He's fought on a few of those Saudi shows as well, Justice Finney. What do you want to see from him in 2025? Do you think next year, you're expecting some, well, obviously more competitive fights than that, but what are the kind of names that you'd like to see him in with potentially?
I think there's still a ways to go. Like, obviously he's only had 11 fights. He's only 25, so don't think there's any rush. Although I know he's ranked with a couple of the governing bodies. I think he's still at the stage now. Obviously, it needs to be fucking better than Ribery, goes without saying. But maybe a name, the Jermaine Franklin at some point in 2025, be a decent fight for him. Because the thing with Huni is he's not the biggest heavyweight, and that despite what he's just done, I don't think he's a particularly big puncher. So I would keep him away from people who can maybe can't exploit his physical advantages. I think Jermaine Franklin could be a tough fight technically for him, but it's not a fight he's going to get, bullied and rocked in. You wouldn't have thought. The Lorena fight, he boxed well in parts, but there were alarm bells, and he was actually very nearly stopped at the end of that fight. So maybe one for the back end of next year would be Jermaine Franklin. I wouldn't be reaching too much higher than that, to be honest. Not yet, anyway.
Yeah, I suppose that's maybe a good name as well. Obviously, British fight fans will know a lot about Franklin having fought both Anthony Joshua and Dylan White. Another name that just as you were talking there, I mean, I don't know. Would some argue this is maybe even a bit more of a step up? Like I know he got obliterated recently by last year, sorry, in 2023 by Anthony Joshua, but a Robert Helenius kind of fighter, is that someone that you would throw him in with? I don't know what his crack is. I think didn't he fail a performance enhancing drugs test, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, is that an option? Maybe potentially. Yeah, but I agree with you. I wouldn't be in any mad rush with Justice Huni. I think there's still a lot of learning to be done. I don't think he's maybe, in my opinion, as good as the hype around him. Yeah, so I mean, but it remains to be seen. He beat what's in front of him, and yeah, who knows? Hopefully, we see at least a couple of more competitive fights from him in 2025. Just to round off, mate, and not much more we can discuss really. What do you think his ceiling is? Can you ever foresee a world in which Justice Huni becomes world champion?
You never say never if like the right belt and the right opponent crops up. Say it's more likely not to happen than it is to happen. Just even though this sort of era of Fury, AJ, Usyk is coming to an end, I still think there's quite a few heavyweights better than him coming up in and around his age and that next crop. But you never know how the political landscape will unfold. Obviously, signed with Eddie Hearn. Sure, Eddie's maneuvered worse fighters into world title opportunities, but I think he would have to be quite fortunate to win a world title. But saying that, only 25, still got, 7, 8 good years ahead of him. So who knows?
For sure, mate. Yeah, but I mean, I'm the same as you. Gun to my head, I'm probably saying no. But as you correctly say, yeah, there's been worse fighters who have at least contested for a world title in various weight divisions, particularly at heavyweight in the past as well. So yeah, we'll leave it there, mate. Appreciate your time on this Wednesday afternoon, jumping on a bit of afternoon boxing for us UK fight fans. And yeah, please do check out the rest of the channel. Please, guys, hit that subscribe button, hit the like video, and drop us a comment on what you thought of Justice Huni's performance and how far perhaps you think he could go or who you want to see him fight next year. Danny, thanks very much, mate. I'll speak to you again soon.
Cheers, mate.